So this is the topic that I have given. ABCs of MOOC Mania, lessons from high schools in Nepal. Okay, so actually, I began mooking in 2013, and that time it was a kind of journey. I mean, I was distressed as a teacher. I felt that I'm a failure indeed, because I have seen many friends of mine, some friends of mine going to Gulf countries and coming back to Nepal in 2 years and looking for a plot of land, and I felt like, oh, I don't have even some hundreds in my bank balance. So I think I should rather be going to Gulf countries, not be staying here. And the other part of my brain said that if you happen to be ended up with a good job in Gulf, it's fine. If not, then there is no choice. You should be dumped here in teaching profession. Then I started exploring how I can change myself, how I can bring some new practices in teaching sector, how I can make myself be adapted in 21st century skills or 21st century classes. And that's why I started exploring some strategies of teaching in Google. And that time I found a course developed by University of Oregon and funded by Department of States. And I took that course and voiced the same to my students also, that they should also be trying some courses on their part. But I failed many times. There were a couple of reasons behind the failure. Okay, a number of reasons. I used to talk to my classes 9, 10, 11, 12, but the students were not ready to take the classes. So what I did is I started piling the course one upon other, one upon other. That's how I moved by. Okay. Then I did not give this information in the assembly. I did not talk about what I was doing to my school administration, because I was scared that anytime the school administration may be trying to block me. Because if there comes any kind of complaint from the guardians, then definitely it's a private school and they have to say me no. So I didn't inform them, but rather started meeting the students. I started talking much about it in my class and brought those, downloaded the materials that I learned, that I used to access in the courses in my classes. I used to display them in my classes. For example, when I took the course in how to write essay, it used to teach us how to make a very standard form of a paragraph. That was developed by Maggie Soklik, who was the plenary speaker, the keynote speaker in 2 years back Neltas conference. She had designed that course, and that course had got how to make a standard paragraph. I downloaded it and stored it in my classroom. How they can make the paragraphs, how they can make the essays. So that's how I applied it. And then I told the students, this is what I learned from online courses. I did it, and you too can be doing it in your own classes. This is how I did it. And then there definitely came some calls from the guardians that students were trying to be hooked into their laptops or mobiles, and they were saying that that's a homework given by Baman sir. And I got the calls from the guardians, and I had to meet some guardians personally. I met those guardians personally and convinced them what we have been doing and why. So that helped. Once they were convinced, it became easy for me. Then even my school administration questioned me, because they were also hearing about it from the guardians. So I had to convince my guardians, my school administration, as well as the students again and again. Then slowly, it's a good note that in late 2014, 27 students from my school attended a course from University of California, Berkeley, and 18 students completed it. And that was thankfully posted by USMC in its Facebook page, highlighting the success of the students in getting in earning the certificates from University of California. And they were not wasting their time. They were not hampering their regular classes. The teachers were not affected, but the students worked on their own in their leisures at home and completed the courses. And that post from US Embassy has boosted up the flavor, I mean the favor of MOOCs in Nepal afterwards. Then I started getting the calls from my neighboring schools in Pokhara, and I spread it slowly. Okay, next part is about like where we can currently see the students moving there. We can see the people currently moving far across there in west, in Japa, in Damak. Some schools in Damak, they started moving. I gave some Dhangari, also they did moving. So from west to the east. So I visited different places like Itari, Dharan, Hetauda, Butawal, Bharatpur, Gaidakot, Kathmandu Valley, and so many places, and started mentoring the students in MOOCs. And for that reason, in 2015, I got a grant from IREX from Washington DC to run the project, to run the MOOC sessions here in Pokhara, and that's how I spread in Pokhara Valley. And slowly, with the help of the English language fellow, that time we had Alex. So with Alex, I used to go to different districts and give them the classes. And during that time, I got very good support even from Nelta. So we used to give sessions in different places. And next, we have been doing the MOOCs. MOOC, I feel now, is not the property of only the affluent students, not highly rich students, but it has also been, the mania is also been spread among the students from the middle class families as well as high class families. You can see these students who completed the MOOCs. It shows that these people are not from the private schools. You can see their get-ups. They are from public schools. And this one, so this one was is from Depchuli municipality in Nolprasi. So you can see the structure, the physical structure of the classes, the thatched roofs, very small buildings. No, I mean the infrastructure is not very strong. However, the administration as well as the administration, teachers, as well as the students have realized that they can be taking the online courses from the Western countries. I mean, from America or Europe or Australia. I mean, Harvard is not in America. Harvard is in the tips of their fingers. So University of Queensland, University of Sydney is physically in Sydney, but if they wish, University of Sydney is on the tips of their fingers. I believe I'm not wrong, Suman sir. Okay, so next, it's also to the much equipped areas. Like this is from Motherland, my school, and this comes from Gaidakot Secondary School, Gaidakot English School in Gaidakot. This school does not have big number of students, about 600-700 students, but this school has been, the administration has been very effectively guiding the students from grade 5 to grade 10 in taking the online courses. And when needed, the school definitely offers its computer lab for the students even after the school is over. So if everything goes well, so I'll be getting the voice from principal of that school. I believe he is here, and he can be sharing about how this is being run in his school. Okay, so hopefully this can be a good lesson for others. Like, it is possible. If we walk into it, it's definitely possible. And next one, who are mooking then? You can easily guess the age of this little girl. She is not from high school. She is not from grade 9 or 12. She is very young student, and these two students whom you can see on the bottom, they were in class 5. He was in class 5, the girl was in class 6. They were in class 5 and they were in class 6. They completed that time, they completed 2 courses each. So very young students to some mature people in Nepal. I'm bringing the reference of teachers working in the schools here. These students, to Homraj sir, everyone knows this face, Manbahadur sir, Bibas sir, and Lakshman Sharma sir. You can judge the age of this gentleman, this teacher, by his gray hair. The differences, you can judge the differences in age differences between these two people. This shows the people from different age groups are actively engaged into it. In my last communication, Lakshman Sharma sir had shared that he has currently enrolled in another course and he has completed a couple of courses already. He enrolled one more course during this lockdown and he has planned to finish two. Okay, so next one. Okay, we did it. We definitely worked to promote the online course in Nepal. I say in 2015 through IREX grant, and in 2016 I was offered Federal Assistance Award by through the initiation of Bishoji and Rochelle, then Rilo. They managed me the Federal Assistance Award to extend this program in 10 different locations in Nepal. Unfortunately, at the end of 2015, EDX, which is one of the biggest online platform, that stopped giving the honor code certificates. Until the end of 2015, it used to give the honor code certificate. This this certificate. It used to give honor code certificate without any kind of applications. They didn't ask for any kind of financial aid application. But later on, in the somewhere in April, it decided that it's no longer giving the honor code certificate. That was a very big blow to the students getting totally hopeless. However, in April again, so in April, it came up with one more option. That option said one could apply for financial aid, which could offer the participants maximum 90% of the scholarship. The courses used to charge us about $50. That means we had to pay $5 for a course, and that was not reasonable for the students from this, from a developing country like ours. So I felt, oh no, now it's not going to work any longer. So I really felt challenged. But what it did is, though it said 90 percentage of the scholarship, 90% grant, it thankfully offered 100% grant to the students. That's the reason. See this student, Ashish Adhikari, cell biology mitochondria from Harvard University. He got full scholarship and he was given the certificate. In the past, it used to give us honor code certificate, but later on, it gave even verified certificate. The verified certificate was offered. beyond its policy. It said that the early comers, for the time being, they were granting 100% scholarship for the verified certificate. That was a good note. Unfortunately, this offer ended in July. Okay, this offer ended in July, and we felt like, oh, no way out. They were not going to take the courses any longer. The reason is the students had to spare about 10 to 20 hours to complete one course, completely online, 10 to 20 hours. And for sure, if the students spare 10 to 20 hours online, parents would definitely be making the questions. Why? What for? What good are you doing? For that reason, the children, the students needed the certificate to showcase their achievements, to inform, to prove the parents that what good they were involved in. That was a challenge. And many students pointed me out. Sir, no way out now. And then I made an appeal. I wrote the same note to Rilo, and through Bishoji and Rochelle, then Rilo, we were very fortunate to have the head of the deputy director of Office of English Language Programs coming to Nepal from Washington. It was a kind of her different program. For a different program, she came to Nepal and she met my students and the certificates. She met these students and read the certificates, what good they have been doing, and how they are taking the certificate courses and what their learning was. And then deputy director of Office of Language Programs, so which under which Relo works here. So they made the interview to these students to give a reference. This boy who is here, who was also one of the MOOCs that time, is now in Harvard University. The other boy who is beside him, he is now in University of Rochester in New York in full scholarship. His scholarship amounts to almost 4 crore. And we have Bishoji here and Rochelle. So they came up with the decision that the embassy will be granting, offering the certificate, verifying the certificate. Then there came a different type of course. Okay. Um, oh, thank you. I shall go for it. Um, okay. So then came the then came a different certificate through the decision from Relo, and the students happened to be flooded into the course. So this decision from Relo has been really instrumental in engaging the students in taking online courses. And thankfully, I used to be repeatedly invited by NELTA to train its access teachers as well as access students. And through different access centers, NELTA has been operating across the country. This online course, massive open online course, could have been extended. So I must not fail to thank US Embassy as well as the NELTA and all those access teachers and access students for bringing me to this level here. And bringing MOOC, just igniting MOOC mania in country. Next, this was the solution. that came up with the certificate. And how the certificate was granted is the students were supposed to send me their progress report, and this is how it is seen in progress report. And they used to send me, this is on ICT, information communication technology accessibility, and this was done by the student Rashid. This is Gmails, and the student students used to send me this progress report, and I used to forward this to Relo, and Relo used to give the certificates to the students. Okay, it's how we started engage. We just very excitingly engage the students in taking the MOOCs. Next, the other important thing that I must not miss is when I extended MOOCs across the schools in Nepal, rather than facilitating myself, I pushed my students to the forefront. The students came up as the mentors. And we can see here Dinesh sir, Sarita Dewan ma'am, Dinesh Thapaji, and then Gerard sir, Rilo, Lakshman Ghimire sir, and Ivy, then English language fellow. And a student is there to share her experience. If I go and train the students, they hardly believe me. So that's the reason what I did is, like, they may be thinking like, oh, you are mature one, you can do it. But we very young students can hardly be doing this. So what I thought that I started pushing my students so that the others would see and just feel positively motivated. Now I feel like kind of positive pressure. If this little lady can do, I too can be doing it. So in order to give a kind of moral pressure to other students, I applied the young students who took the courses and promoted it in different parts of the country. And thankfully, it also developed the leadership skills in the students. So can you hear me, Shagunji? Can you hear me? Shagun sir?
Yeah, we can hear.
Sorry?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, yeah, I have been just speaking like a lecturer now. And it's like that, not the workshop indeed. Okay, so the other one, and this is the result. So because of the engagement of the students, we can see Sankalpa Ghimire, he's from a rural municipality. Okay, he's from a rural municipality, not from rural municipality indeed. So Sankalpa Ghimire, he completed the course, and a student can have US Embassy's seal as well as University of Pennsylvania's stamp. Okay, both the seals from US Embassy as well as University of Pennsylvania, as well as the students are taking different types of courses. They are not limited only in grammar or essay or computer science. And you can see this boy, a grade 9 student. This Sankalpa Ghimire is a 6th grader. Sudan Subedi is a grade 9 student. He has taken introduction to HTMLs. Richa Suri, dog emotions and cognitions. Rishabh Bhattrai, verb tense and passives. These are the students from grade 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so what my learning is, what I have learned from them then, I felt that engaging the students in MOOCs. Okay, I'm sorry, like before I speak this way, it's nice for me to get the voice from Hiralal Aral sir. Are you there? Would you please be sharing about your MOOC adventure in your school, sir? Hiralal Aral sir, are you there? Hira sir?
My mic to be unmuted, please.
I saw him here. Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Namaste.
Yeah, we can, sir. We can. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon and namaste to all of you. And thank you, Baman sir, for inviting me to this session. And I'm grateful for having this opportunity to share my experience as how, as an administration, we encouraged our students to take part in MOOCs. The initial thought came with Baman sir that these are platforms for the young learners. And what we did is Baman sir came to our school and we provided orientation to the students of class 8, 9, and 10 as like what is MOOC, what are the benefits of doing these MOOC courses, and um, how to do it, how to apply for the scholarship, and all those things was done by Baman sir. And after that, some of the students they started like getting into the course. And what we did as a school administration is, as soon as they complete a course, they have to forward the copy of the certificate to the school administration so that we can celebrate the success. So as soon as we get every certificate from the students, the next assembly we would call them in the front and we would recognize them. And at the same time, we set the target. Like we said, in 1 year's time, we want 200 certificates to be achieved by our students. And then as soon as we have got the certificates, every day, I would remind all the students how many certificates got left to achieve our target. For example, if we have like altogether 50, and then I would say still 150 to go, and please come on guys, you can do it. And then in the period of 8 months, we were able to achieve 210 certificates. And then it has become kind of like MOOC fever in our school. And there were some challenges as well. Some of the students, they didn't have internet at home, and the parents were not really understanding what their children were doing, like being engaged in the mobiles and computer. So we ran the orientation classes to the parents as well about the benefits of MOOC. And we put in our school Facebook page that the campaign of the school is to engage the students in MOOCing. So we requested the guardians to create atmosphere at home if they want to do these kinds of like courses. In addition to that, we provided them opportunities to stay after school and do the courses in the computer lab of the school. Initially, before we started these MOOC courses, we didn't have internet in all the computers connected, and we made the provision. I mean, we made the arrangements that we had around 30 computers all connected with the internet. And when the teachers are on leave and they had like leisure period, they would go to the computer lab and carry on with their courses. And this is how actually those students were motivated and encouraged. I think I made it very clear. If there is anything, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hira sir. So he shared his experience of promoting MOOCs in the school, and I was talking about girls' empowerment. What I have noticed in my last MOOC campaigning was like I did it in two different phases. These days, I'm more in Coursera because EDX does not give us more than 90% of the scholarship. One has to pay 10% to get the verified certificate, and that is, I said, not reasonable for the students here in Nepal. So I am more into Coursera these days. Coursera is a huge platform. As many of you might have known, we have more than 150 million online course registered people. I mean, online course attendance. But and Coursera has got more than 50 million participants in it. So this is the biggest platform, and it's biggest also because like it has got very wonderful courses. And Coursera still has the option to apply for the financial aid, and it gives us, as a student from a developing country, as the citizens from a developing country, it gives us 100% scholarship. So that's the reason verified certificate, this kind of this kind of certificate is possible. You can get this kind of certificate, verified certificate, from Coursera upon the application for the financial aid, which is not available for 100% in edx. And there are definitely a big number of other platforms also, but I do not go for them because I love the quality of the courses that it has and the quality of time that it engages us in. Okay, so that's the reason I opt for Coursera. Okay, so in my last phase, last part of, last period of the extending MOOCs through the with the help of US Embassy Nepal, I have found that more than the boys, girls were engaged into it. And I think the reasons can be the boys have different other way outs to engage themselves. They have different alternatives to engage themselves in the mornings and in the evenings. But our socio-cultural structure does not let the girls to be as free as the boys. That can be one of the reasons why more girls are engaged into it. And in my regular classes, I have been teaching for over 2 decades, and I have noticed that girls of early teen age, grade, year 11 to 15, 18 students, no, 15, 16 girls, they hardly interact with the teachers in the class. They hardly dare to raise the questions in the class. The number is very few. It's because of their physical change, physiological changes, the psychology that they happen to be struggling against. So what happens is in online platform, they can make very open interactions, open discussions with high profile people, with the teachers, with the students from far across the oceans. That's the reason I have noticed more girls in Nepal engaged in discussion forums. When I checked it, I found them more engaged in it. That's how the girls empowerment, I believe, MOOC can do, can contribute in women's girls empowerment from this perspective. And I have noticed the kind of family integration. I have personally made some families, some stories of some families. It showed that due to the rise in the use of internet along with the extension of, rise in the use of social media, along with the increased availability of internet, so many teenagers, early teenagers are engaged in social media. And that has been one of the causes of the conflicts in the families. Father blames mother for not keeping close eyes upon the children, and mother does the same to father. And they too start blaming each other for a child. They fight because of a child. But I have seen the families where, because of this kind of quality engagement of the kids into the MOOC platforms, when the child comes with the certificate, parents feel very proud. I'm proud of you, my daughter. I'm proud of you, my son. So parents happen to get something that they can feel proud of their kids because of their engagement into the internet, use of internet. So they feel really proud of it. Next one, the confidence and leadership. When the kids happen to be learning something that very few of their friends have been doing in their circle, They feel good. I'm extra. I'm not just a student of XYZ public school in Kathmandu or PQR English medium school in Pokhara, but I am a Harvardian because that student's verified number that student's ID number is created there, and he or she has been taking course from Harvard University, University of Queensland, Stanford University, Penn State University. I'm a Californian. I'm a Stanfordian. Okay, I'm not just an XYZian. So student feels something good. Oh, I know how to make essay this way. This is what we call thesis statement. This is what we call the topic sentence, and this is how we should be supplying the examples after it, the detailed description after it. It is how an essay is structured. A student knows what others have not been doing. And this is, a next thing, when somebody knows, I have found about 65% students have guided other students. Once they completed a course, they have guided other students how to take the online courses. I made this research upon 208 students who have completed at least one course. And I asked them, did you guide any others afterwards or not? And they said, yes. That means, see, this kind of leadership, they have been just, the chain, it's being spread, the chain. So next one is digital strength. It's not called, I don't say that's the digital literacy, digital strength. Okay. Sunita Suri, I believe some of us may know who Sunita Suri is. She's from Dhangadi. So, can you hear me, sir?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So the problem is like my display has been off. That's the reason. I was wondering if you can hear me well. Okay. So, sorry, Daisy. So, Dhangadi's student Richa Suri, she is studying in grade 8. This girl has developed how to take online course from Coursera. She has developed one YouTube video. Okay, this lady has developed one YouTube video. It shows, and this okay, let me show you that slide. Okay, that video for short. Okay, okay. Um, yes, that's here. I'm just I won't be showing you all, but will just be giving you one example. One grade studying in grade 8 in far western part of Nepal has developed a YouTube video on how students can be taking online course. So I believe this confidence, she has completed 17 courses during this lockdown period. Okay, this lady has completed 17 courses from different universities. Okay, here it goes. Sorry, it's to be worried. Okay, thinking of this is how she has been instructing her friend. This can be definitely useful for many young students on how to join Coursera, how to select the courses that best fits them, and how she has been able to complete the courses. She, this kind of confidence has been grown up in a grade 8 student. You want to pay? No, right? Yeah, I will show you how to. Oh. To pay for it. You want to pay? No, right? Yeah, I will show you how to access Okay. I think
Is it fine? Any problem? Baman sir? Baman sir, are you there? Baman sir?
okay. I'm here, sir. I was muted. Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Dian, sir, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, sir. Very well. I can hear you.
Okay, so I was muted. Okay, thank you. Um, okay, so now definitely the subject matter is another important thing. Now let me go to the necessity. Why I believe, okay, you may have some contradictions to it. Why I believe MOOC is necessary for the students. Why we should be trying to extend this in the schools and how it is possible in our context. Okay. Uh, Hope you can hear me, Dian sir. Can you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So lately, I have conducted the workshops in about 9 different municipalities, 3 municipalities, 3 sub-metropolis polis, and 3 metropolis with the students of age 12 to 15. Okay, when I did the workshops to these students, my learning, this is the rough learning, like I still have to go through the survey report that I have collected from them. So I got to know that approximately 74% students of age 12 to 15, they use social media. They have the ID and they have been using social media. This is one. I mean, this is not the final one, but I said I still have to go into it. I have got the survey forms collected from them, and I got to see that the parental observation is a big no. Approximately 82% parents, they have not been making the observation of what world their kids are engaged in. Let me remind you, this is not from all the schools, but selected private schools from municipalities only, not from the rural municipalities. I still have to go through it. Next, the effects as the researches have shown, these are not my findings, but different researches that I have been reading these days, they have said that definitely the students' engagement in social media have positive impacts on education, but negative on morality. Now, there comes a question mark whether we are growing up the students for the certificates or the human beings. If we are teaching the human beings, if we are growing up the human beings, now we should be thinking also about their morality. because morality is one of the important personal traits. And next one is published in 2017 from South Africa. It said that the students of this age group were found to have been sexting. They were making some kind of pornographic or nude post to their friends on their own platforms. No? So sexting, cyberbullying, defective social relationship. The students happen to be making some kind of conflicts. We have seen in schools also, lots of examples are evident to us. We have seen the students making the conflicts because of certain posts from their friends. Okay, and the Facebook depression is also another one. So these are some of the negative traits we have seen on the students engaged in social media. Who knows? This aspect has not been studied in detail currently in Nepal. I haven't found many researches focused into it, and I believe this is high time for us to explore into it and give some kind of guidelines to the concern. And next thing, this is necessary because global competition is really high. We are not growing the students who are supposed to be competing with only their brothers or sisters. Brothers got it, cousins got it. No. Our students' competition must not be ended up within the school's boundary. If Sumanji had just thought of his competition with his friends in his circle in his classroom. If Sagunji had thought the same, then they would not have been rocking the universities in Ireland and Australia. So I believe, so a kind of, we have to give the wider perspective to the students. We have to give, show the wider horizons to our students that it is possible. They can be next Sagunji, they can be next Sumanji, rocking in some international platforms, not only the nations, not only Nepal, but beyond our borders. Our students can do it, and for that reason also, online course engagement is a must for these students at present. And this is, I see, it's possible. Now spreading online course among the schools, typically in urban areas and suburban areas is possible because now parents have realized the negative impacts of social media and are fed up of with their kids engagement into this world, and they are looking for some alternatives. What better world can there be for my child? They are looking for the alternatives. They they need it, and if we give it, if we inform our guardians, if we inform the concerned authority, if we give them the ideas how they can be making themselves finding better of themselves, then for sure they are going to do it. And of course the impacts are much deeper, and we have seen some positive impacts of taking online courses. There are lots, as I had discussed earlier. And internet penetration rate, I have seen the last, I mean, 2017's report that was published by Nepal Telecommunications Authority. It showed that every year Nepal's internet penetration rate is increasing by 5 to 7%. 2017. That time it was about 63%, I guess. Now in that 53%, now in that ratio it has crossed 70% now. So many people are getting the internet access. And if we think for the short term purpose, currently lockdown period is a wonderful opportunity for the students to take